Today we will be reviewing the experimental process behind the development of a pasta recipe for high-protein, high school-aged athletes. High school-aged athletes need nutrient-dense meals in order to support their growth and activity. The purpose of our recipe development was to offer these athletes a nutritious meal foundation that was both versatile and appetizing. 3 eggs were first lightly mixed to agitate its proteins and fats. The eggs help bind the dough, supply protein, enhance flavor, and add color. The control recipe included olive oil as a source of lubrication for the dough. We replaced the olive oil with plain Greek yogurt as it contributes additional protein and its water content provides that same lubrication. The moisture of the eggs and Greek yogurt react with gliadine and glutenine proteins of all-purpose flour to form the disulfide bonds of gluten.
The control recipe's use of only all-purpose flour was replaced with a flour mixture that increased the nutritional value of the product. Recipe modifications were made with the intention to produce a product similar in taste and texture to commercial products in order to appeal to our target market. Red lentil flour was added as it contains about 3 times more protein than all-purpose flour and about 5 times its dietary fiber content. Quinoa flour was added to supply additional protein and help retain the dough's moisture. Some all-purpose flour was maintained in the recipe as it contains the gluten necessary for dough formation. Salt was added to enhance the flavor of the dough. All of the flour products were combined and incorporated into the wet ingredients, allowing the stand mixer to begin kneading and establishing gluten formation. The dough is then hand kneaded to lengthen and strengthen gluten strands before the resting process necessary for relaxing the gluten strands. After relaxing, the dough was briefly rolled in segments using a rolling pin to facilitate its processing. The segments of dough were then rolled into thin sheets to create a uniform noodle thickness. Some of the dough was reserved to analyze its moisture content using a moisture analyzer and to identify any color differences by measure of a colorimeter. These sheets of rolled dough were then processed in a fettuccine noodle cutter that produces a uniform width and thickness in the noodles. This noodle type offers a generous amount of surface area, making it an ideal base for a variety of sauces and toppings. It also facilitates larger portions and therefore an increase in nutritional intake for our target population. These noodles were then placed in boiling water to cook. It is important that the water is boiling before the pasta is placed to cook, as too low of a temperature would lead to improper cooking and alter the pasta's final texture. Once in boiling water, the starch granules of the pasta will swell before eventually rupturing and dissolving into the water, producing a soft and solid pasta product. The pasta is now cooked and ready to be enjoyed.